correct you there. All three of us have hundreds of laps around Daytona.
Great slider.
I'm Phil.
I'm Nilden.
I'm Raz.
I'm gonna bust his ass.
I'm Brandon.
Slide jobs by the dozen out here.
Hello, this is Thomas.
Here. Pisser.
I'm John.
Sit down the back straightaway for the final time.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls,
This is the Dirty Slider Podcast. Sit down, buckle up, and hang on. It's about to get rough.
Welcome to another episode of the Dirty Sliders Podcast. This is episode 64, which is one of the best gaming systems ever, being the Nintendo 64, or how old Raz is, born in 1964. So we got some oldies in here, we got some newbies in here, and guess what? We're going to have some kind of dirt to talk. It might be about each other, but we're going to have a good time. So, Raz, what are you going to start us off with tonight, buddy?
64, last year of the baby boomers, baby. That's me. Not a lot of dirt track news. Volusia kind of wound down to a stop. One of the noteworthy things coming out of that was the last real stalwart of the Ford sprint car engine, the Rudeen Racing. They showed up without a Ford. Yeah, very quietly too. There was no major announcement that they were switching engine manufacturers. But they, I got a picture here of that unit.
Maybe it's just a test drive. Maybe they just want to try Volusia out, give the old bow tie a whirl and see what happens. Maybe they're trying to keep it on the DL, which, the age of the internet.
Well, when you show up with a sprint card with Siamese exhaust ports, it's kind of hard to keep that on the DL.
Yeah, that's a small block Chevy. That's all. As a matter of fact, that's the only one that has Siamese
if you're not
ports.
blind.
Well, they don't run Mopar in the sprint cars anymore.
Technically, the Stanton is kind of a Mopar head design, but it's their own head these days. Go ahead.
I was just going to say the old Mopars were Siamese.
Yeah, you're right. They are Siamese. It's because it's the old W9 head, so it would be Siamese ports. But I mean, with Tony Stewart Racing backing out away from the Ford power plants last year, and then Rudeen backing away, I think that pretty much marks the death knell of Ford in sprint car racing, which to me is kind of a shame. Number one, I'm a Ford guy. Number two, it's anything outside the box. I'm always good with anything outside the box in any kind of racing, but particularly in sprint car racing.
No, you know me. I love extra competition. I think extra manufacturers, extra options make the sport better. Yeah, because it drives innovation forward. As long as you don't tell the innovation to stop, and you can't do that.
Yeah, and they had the right people behind it. With Shaver Engines being the ones building those motors. It had all the reason for success. So I don't know what the issue is, why they're stepping away from them, but obviously they don't think it's a performance advantage to run the Ford. Or they'd still be running them.
Well, I mean, it's always been said in racing that the Ford motors cost more money to build. Chevy, GM, or the GM-based motors were per dollar per horsepower was the least expensive to build.
Yeah, and that's always been the case. That goes back really to the 70s, I guess. That Chevys are cheaper to build. Everything else being equal, you're going to spend less dollars, and it just comes a virtue of more
scalability.
More people are using it, therefore it's cheaper. So it's just there's a lot that goes behind that. But it's racing. You got to go with what gets you to the front. It's definitely
you can only be an innovator for so long unless you're making horsepower.
Yeah, it's not a money thing because Rudeen, he got a lot of it.
Yeah, but
I go back to Big Daddy Dave Garlits when Don Garlits.
Sorry, Don.
When he was being pushed by.
You're a Florida guy. You should know that.
I know him well. I've met him. I've talked to him. I've been to his museum multiple times. He has a Chrysler Air Raid siren from World War II. That thing is wicked loud at idle. Well, above idle. Yeah, don't stand too close. I think it was one of the first audio weapons. But when Dodge was pushing him into the 426 Hemi, and they were dogs when they came out. He couldn't win nothing with that thing. I think the 396 was what they were running, and we're doing great.
392. I'm going to spend all night correcting you.
That was a question, not a statement.
Actually, that was a
question, not a statement.
There was a question mark at the end of that.
And they found out that the new Hemi could run when he was literally trying to blow it up. He literally was like, I'm done messing with this thing. I'm done losing. And he cranked 40 degrees of timing in it. And then, oh my goodness, this thing will run and live. What the heck? And when I'm onto something here, oopsie. Just like one of my favorite snacks, potato chips. How'd that end up? That was an oopsie. So, I mean, with innovation, you have to have a little bit of not just gall and balls and money, but a little bit of luck, too.
Yeah. This is way off topic. I'm going to warn you, already going way off topic. But I watched the video tonight of Steve Morris tearing down Adam Elzey's big block that Cletus McFarland blew
ugly.
up.
That is the best sounding big block I've ever heard.
Yeah. Well, until it runs out of oil.
No, it still sounded great all the way to the Garf.
If we're going a little off topic, I have to tell you a story about Smokey Speed Shop. Smokey.
I thought you were going to say Smokey Unique. I didn't think you were that old.
No, Smokey Kanahaualua. He owns Smokey Speed Shop out in Oceanside, California. God rest his soul.
Great guy. He was an amazing guy.
Great. Oh man, hours I would sit and just listen to him talk. But one night, you guys all remember John Morris. One night, John had put a motor together, and Smokey had helped him put a motor together for his modified. And we got the motor in the race car, come over, and Smokey sits there, and we're getting stuff done with it. And Smokey walks over, and he runs that car up to about 6,800 RPM, puts the timing light on it, sets the timing at 6,800 RPM, brings it back down. And of course, modified it doesn't have vacuum advance or anything like that. It's a locked out timing on it. And when we looked down and we checked timing while it was idling at about 800, 900 RPM, the timing, when Smokey had set at the top end, the timing was at 48 degrees advanced.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at and I looked at Smokey, and he goes, "Put bigger jets in it. Shut the fuck up."
I love the old guys. Love the old guys.
He had 78. He had 78 primaries and secondaries in there. Smokey says, 100 or nothing. Go race it. Get your wallet out.
Just fatten it up and let it eat.
Let her eat, baby.
Well, John was running methanol, so he was running that thing on methanol, and I just looked at Smokey. I said, "Yes, sir." I just learned it. When I watched him set the end play on a crank, he took a 5-pound sledgehammer to set the end play on the crank, and just lifted his arm up and goes, "Tink!" And then he rolled the motor over. Right. He goes, "It's good. Run it." It's like, yes, sir. And that motor,
I think
was
some
fast.
things we've got a little too precise on.
And
a little bit of the old school was a little better.
This guy was a legend that nobody ever heard of, man, because Phil and I would walk back in his shop, and Roland Leong would be sitting there talking to him. Don Prudhomme would be sitting there talking to him, and they're sitting at the feet of the master, both of them. They had so much respect for that guy.
Yep, Don Prudhomme. We walked in one day, and Don Prudhomme was sitting there, and I looked over, I was like, "That's Don Prudhomme." And Smokey's sister, and I walked in, first time I'd ever seen him. Smokey looks and goes, "This is Phil. He's a good guy." I'm like, "Thanks, Smokey." He goes, "What do you need?"
And that's when you go,
yeah, right?
Yeah.
And Smokey, he said, "What do you need?" I said, "I need a set of head gaskets for a 350. He goes, "You know where the fuck they are. Go get them."
All right, getting back to dirt racing.
Back on track.
It's all good, man. It's all good. We're here to talk.
Sorry, guys. That was just God rest his soul. That was a great man.
Hey, we're a bunch of buddies bullshitting, and the other three guys are missing out.
Yep.
Couple things popped up on Facebook. Obviously, we all have a soft spot in our heart for dwarf cars. So anytime something dwarf car related pops up, we're all over it. So the National Dwarf Cars made an announcement, and they said that I have to read it because I don't remember it word for word. NDC will allow all new motors that were approved by WSDCA, that's Western States if you don't know, but without the restrictions being provided by Gould. Gould does wiring harnesses and ECUs, and locking the ECU/harness. We are using the 2-year back motor rules. That basically means any motor 2 years old or older, you can run. NDC
2024 and older.
NDC will allow microns, however, you will not be able to tune them at the track. If you're caught tuning your micron at the track, you'll be disqualified from that event completely. Now, I'm going to admit my ignorance. I don't know what a micron is. Is that an ECU or is it?
Yeah, it's
I didn't research, but I'm guessing.
Remember
standalone.
what we ran on our dwarf car? Sean used to tune the motor, the power tuner.
Yeah, power commander. Yeah.
That was a power commander, but that wasn't a micron.
Yeah, but that's kind of what a micron will do. It tunes the computer, I believe. And please, anybody out there, if I'm wrong, but I believe you can tune the computer with.
NDC will allow American Racer tires, mediums, and Hoosier tires, mediums, at our events. Soft tires are not allowed. Kudos to them.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Competition's better, without a doubt. If you have two different tire manufacturers, you have options. And I love that. I really love this last one. This is, I don't know why more tracks, more organizations don't do this. Tap out rule. When you have an incident on the track, you can take responsibility, pull up to the flagman and tap out by tapping your roof. You're the only one penalized and sent to the back. All others involved keep their positions. This is optional and up to the driver to use at his discretion. Absolutely love that.
Well, that takes care of the my bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a little hot. That's my bad. I'll go to the back. I'll go back and learn my lesson.
Yeah. I think
I don't know how much we use, but I really like it.
It's just the fact that you have the option.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's, I think it's kind of shots fired at Western States a little bit. Not that rule, but the motor rule. I think they're kind of saying, hey, Gould doesn't get to have input into the motors. I think that's kind of what they're saying there. We'd probably have to ask Ryan Diotti to get more technical in that than the three of us.
Well, I think what it probably is the Gould is they're trying to limit that 50 horsepower difference we were talking about before.
Yeah.
Of the new stuff versus, the 10, 12 that we ran. Which 50 horsepower is a lot of horsepower.
Yeah.
We ran 06,
but it's still the same tire.
We ran 0607 ZX10. And,
yeah.
And I mean, I hate to say it, but that motor would not be competitive with anything is out there today.
Well, even when you were running, Phil, we knew that the GSXRs had more horsepower, probably by about 10, 15 horsepower. We knew that. But where we had the advantage with the Kawasaki is we felt it got off the corner better. It had more torque.
The torque band was better for what we were doing.
Yep. It was a grunt motor, and the way Sean tuned our setup was to give us the maximum coming up off the turn. I could, and then that car worked really well. That motor worked really well on a dry slick track. And
I know which one worked really well. The last one.
Yeah. Yeah, it did.
Until it
That was a
didn't.
good motor. No, that.
What do you mean didn't?
No,
It's still running, I think.
No, Dewey blew it up.
No, the one we put in.
No.
after it.
Oh, okay.
That was the one.
No,
that
Dewey
was the
didn't get that
where-
one. That one went to Nevada.
Oh,
Mine? The one that I bought as a backup went to Nevada.
And that
Okay.
motor there was really good where it ran to the, I mean, it was
All the way to the wall.
moved front of that car over 9 inches.
So the other side of the story, Western States had something to say, and they released this on Facebook from Frank Monroe, WSDCA president. The new 2026 WSDCA rulebook has been posted. One of the biggest changes to the rules this year is the implementation of the newer motors. WSDCA, CSDCA, that's Central States DCA if you're not paying attention. And that we'll get back to that statement here in a second. Spent 2 years working on this rule, talking to motor builders, trying to gather information and considering how to maintain fair competition when including motors that potentially have 50 more horsepower than a lot of the stock motors that are currently in competition. After careful consideration, it was unanimously approved in Reno for this rule to contain the potential advantage in horsepower for a period of 1 year while we're able to evaluate the evolution for the 2026 season. It is always WSDCA's goal to control the escalating price of our sport, bullshit, and the fairness of competition for everyone when we are implementing a new rule. We never try to make a rule to exclude anyone from competing, bullshit. For 31 years, this rule book has been dedicated to allowing racers to visit other clubs, bullshit, states, tracks, and travel across the country and know that they are competing under the same basic rules of competition and they are welcome to join. If you have any questions or need clarification, reach out to your local representative, board member, or feel free to contact me directly. You can message this post or email to mamadwarf@aol.com. Thank you, and we look forward to seeing you this season. Before we go any further, I want to say this to Frank Monroe, Jan Monroe, Tammy Velasquez. Love to have you on. Maybe even have you on at the same time to talk about this stuff. Reach out to us. We will make it happen. If you guys want to come on separately and without the other side to talk to, or together to, show how you guys are all kumbaya and wanting everything together, that's great too. But we will make it happen. All you have to do is just say the word.
Who's running CSDC?
I don't know.
But they brought a ton of cars out here when they came for that.
Yeah,
one race.
they're out of Texas. I don't know who it is. Obviously,
It looks like they've teamed up.
They're working with Western States for sure. I think the fact that they've teamed up shows that they feel they may be a little bit vulnerable to newer organizations, with maybe NDC being who they're talking about. Last year, that organization had a different name. We don't need to get into that. But they're national dwarf cars now, and they're trying to make big national moves. They got big money sponsorships, and they're doing all the right things from my view. Others may have a different opinion.
Well, I don't see.
Well, I like the
problem
fact
with
that they're opening up
organization.
the motors, for sure.
Well, they needed
Well,
to.
They have to. I mean, I'm on eBay right now and looking at it, and a 2017 is $1,400.
Yeah, but
You go back to a 0607 and it's double the price.
Right, because that's what's allowed and what people running in dwarf cars and mod lights. Because they hadn't advanced the rules. I think mod lights have a whole different perspective because they're basically IMCA sanctioned nowadays, which I think is a great thing. I wish IMCA would get involved in dwarf cars too.
Frank Monroe doesn't.
Yeah, for sure he doesn't.
I was saying is I don't think it's a bad thing when organizations work together and try and put together a blanket rule package where a guy from California can go run New York. It's you show up and you're legal. As long as you're within that rule package, you're legal. There's no question. I don't understand.
That's what IMCA was attractive to me for.
Well, and we have called it out previously on this podcast, and I'll say it again. Frank Monroe has some explaining to do because he's in the pocket of Hoosier, and Hoosier's in his pocket. That's clear. It's been called out that he's got a little.
He's banking off it.
He's got a conflict of interest for sure, right there. I don't know what the problem is, why it took forever to get new motors approved. Maybe it's just because they didn't want to deal with the technology of the new motors.
It's work.
Yeah, they have technologically advanced a ton in the last 10 years. Superbike motors have gotten super.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate on this. As it's entirely possible from a tech point of view, they may not have known how to with the advances in technology and the computers and things like that. They may have been trying to figure out how, with putting these in dwarf cars, they could make sure that certain aspects of the computer can be disabled without blowing the motor up, because we know an engine builder or an engine supplier, not builder, I'm sorry, an engine supplier, it was having difficulties when they were testing with a new series of motors. They were blowing motors up left and right because they were trying to get rid of certain aspects of the computer that that wasn't legal per the rules, and they were having troubles with the motors, with the timing in the motors, and it was damaging the motors. So I'm going to play devil's advocate. Maybe it's taking them this long to figure out how to do that. I don't know this is fact. I'm just saying that as a possibility.
One of the big things for sure, is almost all of your 1,000cc superbikes, call it whatever you want to will, the sport bikes, almost all of them have traction control built in.
Yes.
And you got to get that out for dirt car racing. There's just no other way.
Mm-hmm.
And there's things like wheelie control and lean angle control that's built into that ECU that would mess it up. A four-wheeled car that's sliding at a yaw angle around a dirt track.
Right.
So
the computer picks that up, and we'll start taking timing out or something like that, or doing whatever it does. And
that is stuff they have to figure out for sure.
Yeah. But the Chili Bowl or not the Chili Bowl, Tulsa Shootout proves that it can be done. They literally teched those engines on a table at the top of the ramp in front of everybody. It's right here. We're teching it right here. Come watch us tech it.
Right.
So it can be done. But that means you have to reach out to an expert who is either going to volunteer his time, or you're going to have to pay him for his time. And 99 times out of 100, you're going to have to pay an expert to put in that much work. But there are experts out there that can do it. Sean could have done it for sure.
Remember Sean said he would tech motors for Verona. He's like, but their feelings are going to get hurt because they're not going to like what I'm going to point out.
Yeah. And I think if you're gonna have a racing series, there's certain people you have to pay, and your tech inspector, I think, is one of them, because you're paying for his knowledge. And if you don't pay those people, then they're not going to be incentivized to do a good job.
That's valid.
Well, and then they're also open to, I won't say that tech inspectors are open to bribery, but if you're a volunteer, you normally come with friends.
And you have friends, and you might want to look the other way with the friends.
And there may be something you look this way or that way on.
And I want to be clear. Some people might think I'm talking about Steve Alberti because he's the main tech guy for Western State. I am not. Steve Alberti's reputation is above reproach. He was always a solid, fair guy, and he always did a really good job. I don't know if he's still connected with Western States and doing their tech, but when we were doing it and Steve Alberti was the guy, his integrity was without question.
Exactly.
I kind of feel like the younger generation, that's less and less around.
Yeah. Younger generation.
Are you kidding?
But
they're arguing over, did you touch the granite in curling? Oh my God.
Well, it was past the foul line.
Yeah.
Freaking Canadians.
We're arguing over whether or not he touched the rock.
Uh-huh. And do you know those rocks come from one island that's uninhabited?
Yeah, they think they cost like what, $30,000 or something.
$160,000 for an Olympic set.
Jesus.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I'm kind of liking curling because, I mean, I think I could do this with curling.
Well,
It's like bowling on ice. Let's go.
I will make the contention I made years ago. If you can order a mixed drink while doing it, it's not a sport.
It is if I'm doing it.
No. I stand by that.
I didn't say it was an athletic sport. It's still a sport. It may not be. Well, it is technically a contact sport because you hit rock on rock. There ain't no paper and there ain't no scissors.
I thought Canada and the Swedes were going to come to blows.
No, I don't know. I've been watching some of it, and it's just so entertaining. Oh, but I have to say a shout out to the women's hockey.
Yeah.
They just reset the Olympic record for shutouts. I think they're over 300 minutes now with unanswered.
What is it? It's
I just saw it.
5 games.
I had my mic muted.
Five games.
5 straight.
Five
for
straight
sure.
games of shutout for sure. I saw that
Yep.
I saw that today.
Nice.
And we've jumped off track again. Sorry, Raz.
No, I'm the one who did it.
So much for your show plan.
You started with curling.
I started it with curling.
That's true.
And do we all know what the gayest sport at the Winter Olympics is, right?
No, what? Oh, yeah, for
What?
sure. For sure.
2-man luge.
Hey, I can give you a soundtrack of the guy on the bottom.
Yeah.
And the guy on the
Yeah,
top is like, what's that? Hey, what's that?
Well, maybe that's how he stays on. You know?
Ah.
Maybe he clamps down on it so he can stay up there. Just saying.
Hey,
That's how he's holding on.
how
gripping
drunk? How drunk do you have to be before it comes out? Hey, I got an idea. You lay on top of me. Let's go.
Well, you know, it's all about the start, and we can both pull harder.
And then you lay right on my
2 pulls is
junk.
better than 1
And
pull.
then you lay right on my junk. And oh, by the way, I won't be able to see where I'm going. I have to trust you while you're laying on top of me and I'm going, lose the weight.
I guess Travis Kelce got to go for a ride in a bobsled.
Nice.
And he was like, oh my God. I weighed a ton. Because I guess one of the corners were pulling something like 6 G's. So he was weighing like 1,500 pounds. He's like, I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
That would be fun. I'd like to do that one time. Well,
One time.
I saw
Maybe
Snoop.
twice.
I saw Snoop Dogg riding on a Zamboni.
That was funny as hell. You see the Zamboni coming? Who's on it? You're like, some guy driving it and turns. There's Snoop in all of his freaking fur, his American fur. I don't know how we got Snoop as the official American Olympic mascot, but it works.
Snoop
I mean, granted,
Doggy.
he brought Martha with him,
Snoop Doggy Dog.
but the dude loves the games.
Hey,
He
you know what?
straight up is so enthusiastic.
just don't drug test him.
Well, you could drug test him since he was 14.
You could drug test him. We just know what the results are going to be before it comes back.
Well, we may be surprised on how little else is on there.
He's gonna go. It's positive.
I passed.
I studied for this one.
Positive is good, right?
I've been studying for this one.
All right. So,
Well,
do we
yeah,
wanna
so
get on
the
to
way to go,
do we wanna
women,
talk
you're
about the
kicking
elephant
ass.
in the room?
The 500-pound elephant in the room, that must be talking about the NASCAR Daytona race, which I
You mean-
had to struggle to stay awake for. Oh my
I'm just gonna
God.
say this. I'm going to say this is that race, especially after the second stage, which they need to get rid of that freaking caution for stage races. Do the stage, but let them race through it so strategy comes back. But when they got into that three wide, and it stayed there for what was it, 40 some laps?
It was
45 laps?
it was choreographed. They knew if they went 3 wide and stayed door to door, nobody could pass.
Well, and that's the thing is I'm sitting there looking at it like they did that. Now I am going to say this: they
You
were also.
talking about
Toyota?
Toyota?
Yeah.
They all backed out. They were running. The leader was only running at what, 45-50% throttle.
Quit messing with your mic arm.
Oh, sorry. The leader was at 45-50% throttle.
Yeah, they were running like 60%.
And Michael McDowell got
for
9
40-some-odd
miles to the gallon for
Jesus.
that run.
That's
9
almost-
miles to the gallon
That's almost better than my truck.
at 170 miles an hour.
No, my
But
truck will do
that is
170.
better than my Snap-on truck.
Yeah, my truck
they
won't
were
do
sitting
170.
But they were sitting there, they're running 3 wide. And hey, you know what? For what was it? It was 45 or something laps. For them to do that for 45 or something laps, and yeah, it was choreographed, but to stay concentrated for that long, that close to each other, I give those guys props because at that speed, things
And
happen.
Daytona's not that wide. It looks wide
No.
on TV. It's
No,
not.
it's not.
No,
And-
three
and here's the
three
other
wide's
thing
all
is-
you're going to get.
Daytona, well, they went 4 wide at one point.
Yeah, they
They
wrecked.
did. No. They went 4 wide and did not wreck at one point. But Daytona is also the surface is going away. So Daytona is not the best surface either. So I give those guys credit for that. But it was a sleeper of a race, honestly, until it come time to go. They need to do something with those cars, where the drivers can actually drive them versus just put their foot on the throttle and get in line and stay there.
You hit on it earlier, and I think this fixes it, but they won't do it. Is do away with the stage caution.
Yep.
You can award the points, but if you don't wave the caution flag, that crew chief and that engineer who's going, well, if we do this much, we'll save 2 seconds on a pit stop, because they know when the pit stop's coming. If they didn't know when the pit stop was coming, they wouldn't be able to do that.
I totally.
Well, and the
concur.
other part was, I was talking to Dirt Dude today about it. They didn't need tires.
No, well, that's
No, they didn't.
Daytona
They just had
doesn't.
to throw fuel in it and keep going.
Daytona doesn't wear tires. Hasn't for years, really.
Well, if you're actually driving wide open, you might wear some tires. Rolling around at 50%
True.
ain't going to use nothing.
So I'm going to go into. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, Raz.
I think do away with the stage breaks and award the points. That solves the fuel economy racing deal. You can't predict to a point. So because you can't predict to a point, you can't go, well, we know we're gonna get caution here, so this amount of fuel will get us to the caution. If you don't know when the caution is coming, you can't predict to that point. So I think that solves most of your problem right there. The other thing is, if you make the cars different enough, now I don't mean different cars, there has to be a differential between the front car and the rear car. Meaning, I'll just say it, you need more horsepower. If you had more horsepower and you could blow by a car, then you're less dependent on having everybody line up and do the same thing.
At least it is better than it was Car Tomorrow when it was 2 cars hook up and would disappear.
Right. I hated
The
that.
tandems would disappear. You locked them up and just ran. That was even worse.
But I will.
Super Speedway is going to suck no matter what in this day and age.
Before we get off the NASCAR Daytona deal, I want to hand out a couple props. Props to Keselowski. Sheared your femur. I don't know how you shear a femur, but I can't say it without cringing.
Skiing? Getting out of your truck?
Yeah. And there's a rumor TJ Majors pushed him.
What, was right there with him?
Yeah,
Did he shove him?
his spotter shoved him is the hot rumor. The amount of work he had to put in to get back in that car. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think he was ready based on how tenderly he was walking around. But he said in the car was the easy part. He said he was totally comfortable in the car.
Getting it.
Well,
I think
they're
that was the
molded
hard
to
part.
them, so
Yeah.
it's kind of one of those things. Once you're in, you're good. It's just the in-between moments.
Yeah,
Well,
and
at the
thank
end of
God
the race-
thank
Okay.
God he didn't have to get out in a hurry. If he would have had to get out in a hurry, he might have been in trouble.
At the end
Well,
of
he
that
wanted to run
race-
away from the fire, but he could have rolled.
At the end of that race, when he was involved in that last lap wreck, when they come to him and they showed him out of the car walking to the ambulance, I was like, okay, that's good. That's good.
He was walking pretty decent, too.
He was.
Yeah, he
have a bad
of course,
limp.
it could have been adrenaline. There could have been some adrenaline going on there.
had a little bit of pimp leg going.
I mean, do you still
So-
get adrenaline after wrecking at 200 miles an hour that many times?
Absolutely. I'm gonna go back to the beginning of the race, lap 6, I think it was. What was it, BJ McLeod? Did you guys see what happened with that car?
Something broke.
Yes,
Something in the right rear.
I think it was the camber link. I think it was the upper camber link broke on that car
There
because
were-
when you saw that
There
car,
was, yeah, it just snapped.
the right rear tire just you saw the spark. It dropped in, and then he went for a ride.
One of the theories was that the lug nut was working its way loose.
I don't think so because he
No,
never
that can't
took a hit.
happen. That's not
He
allowed to.
well, I don't think so. And the reason why I say that is he never took a hit in the right rear of that car. But when that car spun around, the right rear was flopping out. The top of that tire was flopping. That's why
Yeah,
I say
but
I think the camber
if
link broke.
it's on the spindle, it could have been doing that. I don't know. I went there, but yeah, I tell you what, he broke traction.
He even said it. I mean, he's like something broke.
Yeah,
Something
no, it
broke.
just snapped. And then fellow YouTuber, one Cletus McFarland, wrecked on his own in the truck race with lap 6.
Congrats to him for only taking himself out.
And
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
going to
give-
call this out. I'm going to call out everybody that said, "Oh, YouTube superstar piece of shit shouldn't have been in a truck." Blah 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 blah. But fucking blah. Corey Day did the same damn thing.
Right, and he's the best.
Same damn thing at the same spot, and nobody jumped on his cock and said, "You're a piece of shit." Blah blah blah. That's turn.
yeah,
That's
and that-
was it turn 2? Turn 2 at Daytona. You get a
Turn
push
4.
coming off turn. I'm sorry, turn 4 at Daytona. You get a push coming off the turn. It happens.
Yeah, they say
And it's where it
the,
goes from banking to flat.
and they said the wind had a lot to do with that too.
But but nobody called out Corey Day on it. But
You
they're
mean
all
the-
over Cletus.
And no seat time. No practice.
Corey Day, they got best thing since Joey Logano.
Yeah.
And then he did pretty well in
Are
the
you
ARC.
ready to eat your words yet?
What? I ain't seen it yet.
No, there was
I ain't
a
seen it.
certain Frank that was at a certain press conference.
Mm.
And I was asking, are we telling him today? Are we telling him right now about it?
Yeah. They're definitely milking the social media all it's worth on that.
Oh, I think this week it'll be out.
He did really well in the ARCA race. Had it not been for a blown pit stop, he probably would have been top 10 or top 5.
Well, it wasn't even blowing pit stop. It was a
Jack broke it.
jack failed. It put him a lap down.
He finished what 11th?
11th is what he finished, yeah.
And,
But I also kind of think it may have been a saving grace for him to have that jack failure because he had no choice but to ride around.
And Kevin Hamlin has nothing but good things to say about Garrett, or aka Cletus. And this is the same guy who threw his headset down and walked off the roof because he had enough of Natalie Decker's shit.
Well, when you get wrecked
Speaking
by the
of
push
Natalie
truck,
Decker, now we got you said that. Speaking of that, look here, chick. When a guy hits a wall and his car is totally fucked up, and he has probably no brakes, no ability to steer the car, and his brain cells, he may have taken a hard enough hit where his brain cells are all trying to figure out where they're at in the universe. Don't call a guy out for coming back across track when his car's that fucked up. How about you got to the damn wreck way late and your spotter should have been screaming at you, hey, they're wrecking in front of you, get out of it.
Well, okay, well, the reason why Kevin Hamlin walked off the roof, he goes, I sit inside about 14 times and she still came down. She clearly does not listen to her spotter. And here's a newsflash. Don't try to go on the outside of a wreck at Daytona. They almost always go up the hill.
And she was so late to it. She had time to be on the brake. Well,
Yeah.
I wasn't there. I wasn't in the car. I've never driven to Daytona. Yeah, for all you people are going to call us out on that. But don't sit there and call a guy out, any driver out when their car is totally screwed. They're a passenger. The
Hey,
car's going to do whatever it wants. Physics takes place.
I'm going to correct you there. All three of us have hundreds of laps around Daytona.
That's true.
just
You're-
not in a
you're
physical car.
not in a real car. That is true. You're
Now,
not-
see, I'm gonna play
that is-
I'm gonna play devil's advocate though on this. I know, unusual for me, but it did show raw emotion, maybe not the right emotion, of her being upset that she was wrecked out. Not, oopsie, I curbed the wheel.
And before somebody calls me out and saying, I'm just against female drivers, I'm not. I think Jade Avedisian is one of the baddest drivers on the planet, and she hasn't gotten near the breaks that Natalie Decker has. If you put Jade Avedisian in the equipment Natalie Decker's been in, she would be running up front. The chick is that talented.
Natalie Decker's average ARCA finish is like 27th, 28th is her average finish. And what did DBC say? It was like 16 or 18 races or something. I remember her average finish is in the 20s.
I'm sorry. I do want to
step the fuck up.
I do want to commend her for the photo she took next to Bert Kreischer, the comedian who's known for taking his shirt off. And she joined. She did too. God bless her.
Another driver, female driver that deserves a shout out is one of my old friends, Allie Owens.
Yeah.
Was in the ARCA race. She had a oil line rupture that caused her to crash. But was having a great trip back.
Tires generally can do that.
Yeah, especially at Daytona. Yeah, that whole friction and lack thereof will cause you to wreck.
And
she killed the front clip, the back clip. Daytona was her only planned race for the season. It's her first race back. She hasn't raced in quite a few years. But she put together a package. She put together a sponsorship. And good job, girl. I'm glad that you got to go back into the race car at least one more time. Show your girls what you used to do. So congratulations.
Well, and let's bring it full circle. Shout out to dirt track racer. Reddick. I'm drawing a blank on his first. What's Reddick's first name? Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick. Dirt late model racer. He once got turned away at Eldora because he showed up and he was 15. They said, "No way, pal."
We did this before with Gordon. We're not doing it again.
So he lucked into it. Let's call it what it is. He got really lucky, but right place, right time.
Well, that's Daytona.
Somebody's going
to miss a wreck.
Somebody's got to win that race, and it was him. And I think the irony of the first race of the season won after the very reputation damaging lawsuit was the people that you were trying to throw through the mud. 2311 Racing.
And I'm glad for the Reddicks because remember last year his son was having all the issues in the hospital.
Yeah.
So his son's healthy. His son was there, and then he gets a win. So that's pretty awesome. I won't say I've been his biggest fan before, just because I'm kind of an attitude guy. Whether it's perception or reality, your attitude can make or break me as a fan. And I wasn't a real fan of his. But congratulations, you are now a Daytona 500 winner. Luck, spit, or draw, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and you're a Daytona 500 winner for life.
You're on that trophy forever.
Same thing as when Dale Earnhardt Jr. back in, 19... Or
2001?
Dale Earnhardt Sr., 1990-something. Derek Cope was running second to him. Dale was going to look how he's going to get his first win of the Daytona 500, and he blew a right rear tire. And Derek Cope dropped down, passed him, and took the win. And everybody's like, oh, he lucked into it. And nah, he didn't luck into that. He was running up in the top 5 all day long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's all you got to be.
And in today's style of racing, Derek Cope would have been in the wreck.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he would have been.
The wreck will move forward. As Carson Hocevar told Garrett, you can cause a wreck and not be in it unless you are the only wreck. You forgot the little caveat. It's supposed to be off your front bumper, not off you.
I was just going to say that, Neil, then that Daytona and Talladega, that Superspeedway racing, it's one of the only, those are a couple of the only tracks where the wreck can start 5 cars behind you and you still be in it.
Oh, yeah.
And I think I can speak on behalf of all race fans when I say, what the fuck was that thing on Ryan Blaney's face?
I love it.
A wild caterpillar.
As a man with, I'm a little jealous that he can grow such a thick caterpillar.
Dude. That thing.
Come on. All 3 of us have mustaches, and none of us can build that caterpillar.
Dude, that thing is
that mustache. That mustache remind me of Jamie Heineman's mustache from Mythos.
Oh, yes. The walrus.
I bet you that thing has its own hard card
Yeah.
It should. It's epic. I mean, it could be an alien, but his hair has always grown long because he'll go a season and have, shoulder length hair.
Well, the other too is when he's grown a beard and it's been thick. I mean, he's obviously a little bit of a hirsute fella.
Yeah. He can definitely grow them thick and beautiful. Beautiful, my man.
Another one. Joey Logano's new look.
Little stalkerish, creeperish / drug dealerish.
Serial killer.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Now driving the Leonard 22 Pennzoil car, Dexter Logano.
Okay, so Joey, when you watch this, we're laughing with you, not at you.
Yeah.
And Raz lives in Kentucky. Go to Kentucky.
He's closer.
If we're gonna go with recent events, then that means that Joey's wife should come slap the shit out of me because I'm making fun of her husband who has alopecia.
Oh.
And Jada,
Are we really making fun of him?
Well, no, actually, isn't it called male pattern baldness
see,
in men?
I need pickup on that.
Yeah. I know where you're going. But she has to say the words. Keep my husband's name out of your mouth.
Yes.
I mean,
But no,
granted,
I didn't.
props for
recognize
stepping
him
up for your
first.
wife, but not
When
a
I
good look.
When I first saw Joey Logano, I'm like, who the hell is that? I'm like, oh my God, that's Joey Logano.
Oh, in the off season, he had to make a post. I am okay. I am not mentally ill. I am not sick. I don't have cancer. I just want a new hairdo. He being
Lack
none of
of
it.
hairdo.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and then someone AI'd or photoshopped Briscoe with the same look.
Not do Blaney.
You know what? Blaney has.
But just
Blaney
this.
has more hair on his upper lip than
His upper lip.
Logano has on his whole head.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
But it is epic. It's epic. I mean, you got to. He has the best mustache in the garage, bar none.
Oh, it's not even close.
No. I mean, he might take the state.
Yeah, but
You might
I
get
never.
sued over that segment.
Yeah, the pregame or pre-race introductions. They had Dennis Leary, and he says it was some driver in row.
I missed it.
In row 4, lining up next to Ryan Blaney and whatever the hell it is on his face.
Oh, God. Oh, I was going through social today, and Barstool Sports was there. And they're like, great flyover by Blue Angels. I'm like, how? You idiot. They're not even blue.
The Thunderbirds.
That was the Thunderbirds. Come on.
Thunderbirds.
U.S. Air Force
Whatever.
Thunderbirds.
Moron.
They're
I
not
will
even
say
blue.
this.
Ugh.
I will say the flyover they did you guys... is
Epic.
come across, it was epic, but it was windy as
Epic.
hell. And did you guys see that the two outer diamonds were struggling to keep those planes under control? That is why the Blue Angels, the Thunderbirds, those pilots are what they are, because they were in a tight formation and they were just rocking.
Yeah.
Kudos to those guys. Thumbs up, man.
To continue,
There was a Netflix series on the Blue Angels when they're out here at
El
El Centro,
yeah.
and it is awesome to watch how they progress.
So to continue taking us further off topic, I was listening to Joe Rogan. And he was
Or on the air.
He was talking about UFC, and they're not as cool because they don't get the flyovers like other sports do. I'm like, bet when you do the one on the White House lawn, you get a flyover.
I bet you could. Yeah. The fact that you're inside kind of kills it.
Yeah, but it's still on the White House lawn, and the guy who's in that house might have a little pull about getting a flyover.
And he kind of likes them. And IndyCar's going to D.C. That's going to be interesting.
I went to Sturgis, and I didn't know this, but they do a B-1 bomber nearly ground level run right down Main Street at noon on one of the days. And I'm down there.
Let me guess, it came from behind you?
I was down a side street, and I didn't see it coming. And I'm like, what's that noise? What's that noise? Holy shit, what's going on? Full afterburner. It seemed like he was probably 50 feet off the deck. I about shit my pants, man.
I would say, did he hit you with the brown tone?
Man. but
It was close, I'm
it
sure.
was one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life. Once I knew what it was.
Yeah.
I have to tell you, the coolest thing I've seen in my life was we were out at sea, and the two F-14s were clipping along. They were, if they had dropped their hook, they might have been able to catch some fish. But they were clipping along. They were clipping along.
So it was a calm day.
Oh, it was a very calm day, like glass. And they went either side, port starboard on the ship. And when they went by, oh my God, it was absolute. It was an erection creating situation because you're getting hit on both sides with two 14s in Delta going by you. It was just, man, awesome. And then they just peeled up straight up.
And they were giggling.
Probably. But it
All
was a stage
fire pilots
thing.
are giant children.
It was a coordinated thing. I mean, because
but they're still giggling.
Oh, absolutely. It was just absolutely awesome. It was absolutely awesome.
Until he come on the mic, I sound like the coolest man ever.
Yeah, Bill Engvall does a whole routine about it, how cool he is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I love his Thunderbird story.
Okay,
I think
cool.
it's Thunderbirds for him.
I think
Roger.
we've gone off
Roger.
topic enough.
Roger.
So,
Roger.
you can catch us on Facebook at Dirty Sliders, at
Roger.
Instagram dirty.sliders, X, formerly Twitter, at Dirty Sliders, patreon.com/Dirty Sliders podcast. Appreciate you commenting, subscribe. There is a rumor that we might be working on a all-female racer show. I can neither confirm nor deny that, but you just keep an ear out for that. We appreciate everybody's support. It has been fantastic, this journey we've been through over the last year and 4 months now.
63 episodes.
64.
64. His birth year, dumbass.
I don't remember how old dirt is.
Yeah.
Look at Raz.
Hey, be kind to your elders.
I
Because
am.
one day you'll be one.
I are one already.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Good
y'all.
night, guys.